joining me now. Congressman Steve Cohen, a Democrat from Tennessee and a member of the Judiciary Committee. Welcome back, sir. Good to see you on a Sunday here. So let's start with presidential pardons here. Who do you think is lying? Is it the president? Is it Michael Cohen? Is it both of them? And where does Congress go from here on the topic?
Well, they possibly could both be lying, but Michael Cohen has an incentive beyond just the human instinct to tell the truth, because he's going to jail for lying, and if he lies again before Congress, he could be going to jail for a longer period of time, not getting any cut in his sentence, not getting any credit. So he's got an incentive. He's got nothing to lose, and I think he wants to make a clear cut and become somewhat better thought of for his family's reputation. Donald Trump has an incentive to lie because he has had a life of criminal activity, corrupt activity. It's been known by New Yorkers forever. I mean, Bloomberg told us at the convention, New Yorkers know a con man when they see one, and Trump is a con man. Michael Cohen said he's a con man, a liar, and a racist. He is a con man, he is a liar, and he is a racist. And he has lied about everything that goes down. He continues to lie. That's why he's attacked this investigation, the Justice Department, the FBI, judges that didn't rule in his manner and his way in the Trump University lawsuit. The man is a walking lie.
So let's talk about impeachment proceedings, which start in your committee. As we know, and as you have said, impeachment is a political process that requires public support. But there's a poll by Monmouth University. It was taken after Michael Cohen's hearing, which found that support for impeachment has increased now by 6 percentage points since the month of November. The biggest shift, interestingly, was among moderates. Can you help us understand how you're gauging public support for impeachment and what your constituents are telling you about it?
Well, my constituents would want him impeached, but I have a largely African-American district that is probably the demographic group that most sees Trump for what he is, which is a liar who's insensitive to people of need. Overall, I think it's not nearly as strong as it is in my district. And we look at polls and we look at the public perception, but the big thing is look at how Republicans in the Senate are responding. As long as they continue to be acolytes to the president and follow him like lemmings towards the cliff, we will not be able to get a conviction and impeachment. We can vote for impeachment, but we can't get an impeachment through the Senate. And if we don't do that, it's an action that has merit because it will bring out a lot of the truth about what this president has done for his personal interests and what he's done to sacrifice our national interest and tear down our institutions and the rule of law. But we will not get a conviction, and that might set some people to feel that the Trump base will come out stronger politically. So it's a tightrope because the politics of it. I tend to think, Nancy Pelosi and our leadership doesn't want us to go there because she thinks politically it will hurt us. And the Republicans seem to always talk about their thought Democrats want impeachment, which makes me think that they also think that'll help them politically. And the biggest result in all of this is to get rid of this cancer on the country. Nixon was a cancer on the presidency. Trump is a cancer on the country. And to differ from my colleague Jamie Raskin, brilliant member of our committee who was on earlier, he said this is the most corrupt presidency in our lifetimes. This is the most corrupt presidency in the history of the United States of America.
Sounds like you weren't so much differing, rather adding an exclamation point there. A bit earlier we heard from Representative Adam Schiff, and he says it would be a mistake for the special counsel to release his report without compelling the president to testify under oath. What do you think about that? Do you agree?
It'd be wonderful if he would, but he won't. He lies all the time. He's told so many lies and differing versions of stories that his attorneys know that he would perjure himself, so they won't allow it. As you mentioned in an earlier segment, or it might have been Joy Reid, that President Grant testified, that President Clinton testified when they were under investigations, but this president won't do it. And he thinks that because he's got social media and Twitter and he can reach out to 100 million people and say, witch hunt, and no collusion, and he just says it over and over. Something he learned from Roy Cohn, one of the more despicable blights on humanity in our lifetimes.
I want to ask you about your committee requesting documents from, 81 people or entities related to the president. Which of the investigations do you see as being potentially the most damning for the president or those in his inner circle?
I suspect it's going to be what goes on in New York State, not only with the sovereign district, the Southern District, which seems to have had a lot of success in getting into business records and has information, but really the New York State Attorney General, Letitia James. She could indict him because the Justice Department, under some old policy that might or might not be valid for our system of government, New York State's not prohibited from doing that. And they have access to his business records. They have access to his foundation. They've already banned him from being on a 501c3 board for like the next 10 years. You know, 501c3 is not that much different from a government. And here's a man who the New York State Attorney General has said cannot be on a 501c3 board because he's violated his trust position to take personal advantage of that trust. And now he's running the biggest, in essence, 501c3, the United States government. That's what we've got to deal with. But I think he's got to be concerned. And I don't know what Mr. Mueller will do at the end. He should indict Donald Trump Jr. There's no question in my mind that what went on at the Trump Tower was illegal. It was conspiring and with the Russians to affect this election. It wasn't about adoptions. That was hooey. And that's why the president wrote the note for his son to say it was about adoptions. That was obstruction of justice. And I think that Donald Trump Jr. was involved with it, and that may be a sealed indictment that comes out later.
Representative Steve Cohen, thank you so much. Always appreciate your candor, sir. Good to see you.
You're welcome, Alex.